All right, so I'm in the process of rebuilding a GM 10-bolt rear axle. I've got the axle out of the car. That's a 78 Camaro, and I've got it actually sitting right down here beside me. And I cleaned it up, primed it and all that, and then now I'm in the disassembly phase, so I've got the rear differential cover off, and I'm looking in at the gears, and I'll show you guys a visual of this in just a second. So one of the things, or really the next step in that process, is to remove that 5/16 bolt. And I believe I'm going to read my extractor kit that I got here. It's the pinion shaft lock bolt. So the pinion shaft lock bolt is the 5/16 bolt, and that's the first thing you have to take off in order to then release your axles, your C-clips, and then get your axle shafts out of the way. While I was taking that out and unscrewing it and unbolting it, it snapped on me. So it broke, and half of it's still in the cavity there. And I've seen one of these bolts before, and the top half of it is threaded, the bottom half is smooth, and that smooth part goes into that pinion shaft and keeps that in place. So as long as that's in place, you can't get that pinion shaft out, and then you can't get your C-clips off your axle shafts, can't get your axle shafts out. So this presents quite a problem. So this happened to me the other day when I was working on the rear axle, and I had no idea how to fix that. So I did a little research, and amazingly enough, and oddly enough, this is a known issue, and it's a very common issue with the 10 bolts and plus many other rear ends and rear axle assemblies. And so they make a kit for it. And this is a extraction kit. And the reason that you can't just take a drill and drill that hole out and put your easy out in there is because you just can't fit a drill bit and a drill in there the way it's positioned into the housing. So it's recessed a little bit into the housing of the differential. You ain't getting a drill bit in there. So there's a couple of different companies that make these kits, and I'm telling you, they're not cheap. This one is from Skyway Tools. I got it on Amazon, and I think it was about $33. And it comes with a very long drill bit. It's actually a pretty unique idea. So it's got two bolts in there that will thread back into the hole until you bottom out on what's left of the broken piece. And then once that happens, it's got a hole through the middle of that bolt, and you're going to take this long drill bit and put it in there, and then very gently drill that out, pull out the metal filings, put some oil on it so you don't lose the hardness of that drill bit, and keep doing that until you get depth enough to put in the easy out or the extractor. That's included in the kit, and there's two different ones included in the kit. So the only other option that I could think of to get this piece out, and I'm replacing that piece with a lunchbox locker, so I'm not going to use it. So I don't mind if I damage it, or I'd rather not, and keep it as a backup. But the other choice is to either go in there, try to drill into that axle shaft, try to dig it out with a like a carbide bit on a Dremel tool. I saw that as a suggestion to fix this. And the other thing you can do is plunge your cutoff wheel in there and just cut through it. Neither of those two things are desirable options. So I'm going to go with this kit. It's got pretty good reviews. Like I said, it's on Amazon, Skyway Tools, and it says, in quotes, a 5 to 10 minute solution. So we're going to see if it's actually a 5 to 10 minute solution. And I'm trying to find a part number on here. I don't see one, but it is called Deluxe Differential Pinion Shaft Lock Bolt Extraction Kit. And I can put a link in the description box to this kit on Amazon if this ever happens to you. But stay tuned and watch this video, and let's see if this thing actually works, because I'm going to put it to the test right now. All right, so here's where I'm at with my rear axle. And like I said, I've got the cover off. I've been letting it drain out, and then this is the 5/16 bolt, and it goes right in there. And you can see the shaft there, so you can get an idea how much is left in there. There it is. Hopefully you can see that. But it looks to be about a 1/2 of an inch until you get to the shaft, and then it should go through the shaft, this shaft right here, to hold that in. So that's where I broke off. Honestly, I don't think there's very many threads left in there, and I'm really hoping this extractor kit works. All right, so here's the kit. It comes in a little tube like this, and it's a Skyway Tools, once again, a Deluxe Differential Pinion Shaft Lock Bolt Extraction Kit. Comes with it's a 5 to 10 minute solution, so we'll see. 12-inch cobalt drill bit, 2 extractors, 2 heavy-duty bolts, and it's got an 800 number if you have any problems. So there is the 2 extractors. Well, I'm sorry, there's the whole kit. And you can see obviously the long drill bit. It's got some instructions in there, and then you can also see there where that drill bit goes through those bolts, depending on which one you need, and that will help align that drill bit right in the middle of the piece that's left inside that cavity. And then once you drill it in, and I'm probably going to try to get most of that 1/2 inch that I just showed you out of it, then you're going to take that extractor, one of the 2, and I've read from the reviews on Amazon that that square one right there does not work as well as this one here that looks like it's threaded. This one's not threaded, it's just square, and then this one's threaded, and that one, from what the reviews I read, said that this one works better. So let me get this out of here, get it set up, and let's get going and see if we can fix this thing. All right, so I know this is not the drill bit here, but just to kind of demonstrate, here's a standard drill. Sorry, there's Jake in the background hacking, coughing. And there's the hole. So you go to put this in there, and there's just no way to get a straight angle on it. And what you're going to end up doing if you do this is drilling in at an angle and not getting what you need. And like I said, this piece here is kind of recessed enough to where you just can't get the angle on it. So the drill bit provided is this 12-inch drill bit, and when that goes in, gosh, that thing's right there. I didn't get much cut at all, or I'm sorry, I didn't get much out of it at all. When that goes in, you now have all this room back here where there's less obstruction to put it on your drill and to drill. And then in addition to that, the guide bolt with the hole in the middle that I'm going to screw into here will help keep this centered on what's left of that bolt in there. So the instructions for this thing is pretty basic, but one thing it definitely says is to not put a lot of pressure on this drill bit. It's pretty thin, and it's got a job to do, so let the drill kind of do its job, and don't put a lot of pressure on it. I'm also going to use some cutting fluid, and I'm going to take my time and pull it out, pull the drill bit out, clean it off, and put some of this on it to keep the heat down so that the drill bit doesn't lose its temper, its hardness, and hopefully that will help. And just take your time, and I'm ready. Let's see how this works. All right, so these little bolts are, I believe, plastic, so you got to be careful with these. And I'm just going to kind of hand tighten it, and that's all it recommends, is to hand tighten it in until you hit bottom, which I think I'm hitting bottom there. Okay, so that was not a lot of drilling, and you can kind of see I marked that. Well, I made a little white mark on the drill bit right there, and to give you a frame of reference, that's about how deep I am right there. So I'm a pretty good ways in. I think I'm going to go just a little bit further just for some peace of mind. And man, do not put a lot of pressure on this thing at all, because it just it cuts really good. So let me go a little bit deeper. All right, so I didn't like the way the spiral one was going in, so I got this one in there, and I'm backing it out. And it says you can turn it with your fingers, which I'm trying to do. And it's turning, but it's not coming out. So let me try that again. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. I cannot believe that worked. Just did it with my fingers. So there's the pin, and now this should come out. There it goes. You heard it just drop out right there, right? I cannot believe that worked. And once again, I ended up using the one without the spirals, and just kind of barely tapped it in with a hammer and just did it with my finger and got it out in just a couple of minutes. And that's how much of it was left. So I only had a couple of threads, but then all that smooth shaft. And check that out. Didn't exactly drill it center, but enough to get a bite on it and then pull it out. So, and that really saves you from tearing it up, because the next step was going to be to I guess cut into this or cut into that shaft. And now that thing's going to be intact. You do get some extra filings in your case, but I'm taking this thing totally apart and going to rebuild it. All right, and there's the shaft. And now that this is out, you can kind of see where that pin went in there on the end, and that's what held it in. So there it is. All right, so I don't know if you guys are as surprised as I am that that came out that easy, but what a great kit. And it was the tool that I needed for the job, so it got it done. And once I pulled that piece out, that pinion shaft just kind of slid right out. So I'm back in business. I can get back into the tear down and disassembly of this rear axle. So for those of you just watching this video, this is part of a series, a build series of the 78 Camaro that you see behind you. And this footage of me removing this this broken bolt is embedded in and mixed in with the video GM 10 bolt, cleaning and tear down or disassembly. And I wanted to make this its own separate video because this is a specific problem on a specific topic, and I wanted to get this out there where it was visible and not have it hidden in that other video. But if you have any interest in checking out the build, I've got at this point 20 plus videos of tearing this car apart. I've already had the subframe out. I've already repainted that and rebuilt the entire front end with all brand new parts. And now I'm working on the rear end, and I'm cleaning the underneath of the car, wire wheeling that down, painting that, and then I'm gonna also building a 383 stroker motor for this car that's going to be about 500 horsepower. So if you have any interest in following along with this build, check out the Camaro playlist on my YouTube channel. All right, so hope you guys found this video helpful. This I can't believe such a simple solution for a major problem like that, and what I thought was going to be a major setback. Now, don't get me wrong, you got to go on Amazon or wherever you want to buy this thing from and purchase one of these kits. And there's actually two of them on Amazon. One was 33 bucks, and I think the other one was around 50. Interestingly enough, the one that was 33 bucks, the one I bought from Skyway Products, was the more highly reviewed and highly rated kit of the two kits that I saw. Anyway, hope this video helped you out. If you're interested in following along with the 78 Camaro build, hit that subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching.